All right, it's 3:17 on Wednesday, March 18th. I actually wanted to talk about kids and AI and how much I'm exposing them, how much I'm using it and how often I'm using it in front of them because it's something that I'm trying to be very deliberate about. On one hand, I want them to understand, I want them to have all of the advantages of being early, but on the other hand, I want to protect them and make sure that they have a really solid foundation of knowledge and understanding before they start to use the tools that essentially remove all the friction. I was thinking about it at drop off today. Giving AI to my kids is like making them famous. Chris Rock has a really great bit about how being famous is like being super attractive or being hot. It doesn't guarantee that your life's going to be different, but it definitely impacts the way that the world interacts with you. And you're definitely given certain opportunities because of the way that you present to the world. And like being famous, I think that it's both good and bad. On the good side, if you think about fame, it's traditionally been gatekept. Unless you knew someone at a studio, a label, unless you had resources, you could never become famous in the past, and now you can. I think in many ways, AI is doing the job that social media used to do, especially what it means to have distribution. On the flip side, AI, like being famous, can be really bad, especially if you don't have a good sort of support system and a good foundation to sort of build on. One of the things that's most annoying from my point of view, as someone that uses it every single day, the AI definitely lies and flatters you. Wow, I've never heard of anything that great. That's a really original point of view. This is fantastic. I mean, these are the ways that the large language models interact with you, and that's by design. I actually experienced this firsthand yesterday. I had Cloud Code design this prediction bot for me, and then I had Codex audit it, and I discovered historical data that I had asked for. Cloud Code had essentially just made it up. It said, "Hey, I know you were looking for this information, so I just hard coded it and I made it up." It was using synthetic data. I mean, for me, that's fine, but you hear stories about this in the news. I remember earlier this year, there was a lawyer who got in trouble. Here, let me see. I'll put all of these articles into the description. A Fifth Circuit federal lawyer was fined $2,500 for citing fake case law that ChatGPT had made up. I think it's also like being famous because it flatters you. You know, OpenAI had to roll back ChatGPT 4 last year because it was just doing too much. They said that it was, quote, validating doubts and fueling anger, urging impulsive actions and reinforcing negative emotions. I mean, that sounds a lot like the type of behavior that you often read about from famous people. Using AI is also like being famous in that you really only start to hang out with other people that use AI. This is sort of like that phenomenon where famous people only hang out with other famous people. You stop hanging out with the person that says, "Why are you doing that?" Or you stop getting feedback from normal people. You don't check in with the researcher. You don't check in with the person that's saying, "Well, that's not so great." You're really just around a bunch of yes men that are constantly giving you only one single source of truth. And the biggest danger from AI, I do think that it actually makes you dumber. Things like recall or the ability to have to pull something from deep in your memory, that essentially goes away. The frameworks and the ability to figure out how to think, the need for that goes up. But your ability to memorize the exact time or some of these details, that goes away because you're able to call that information right away. BCG just did a study and coined their term AI brain fry. It's a concept of this constant mental fog. It's this buzzing sensation that never goes away, even when you're not working. And if I'm being realistic, this isn't something that I can keep them from. While I think it's an amazing opportunity to give them a head start, I also think a really, really solid foundation. If you think about it, how crazy is it that they can push a button and talk to the machine without ever having to learn how to read or write? I mean, these are the edge cases that I'm worried about, especially when my youngest is 4. At the end of the day, these are amazing tools that I want them to have the advantage of using early, but I also want to make sure that they know how to read.